Corona hit. I just called my parents and was like, hey, I'm gonna come home for 2 weeks while this thing blows over. You know, a month and a half later, I was still living at home where I hadn't lived since I was 18. And then I had a friend who like, she's just really into like getting her friends like coupled up. She's like, there's this Jewish Facebook group. Like, I think I should post for you. And I was like, no, like not my vibe. I really don't even like dating apps. I like really was not looking for it. Like every day for like 3 weeks, she was like pushing. And then it was like Passover. And then finally at the end of Passover, I was all right. Like you can post it. It'll be funny. Like we'll see what's up. And then she like posted it. And then I got like a ton of responses within the first day. It was like a Friday and then it was Shabbat. And then like turn on my phone after Shabbat and like I had just all these responses and then Drew's was like actually interesting. So I was like, all right, like this guy like seems pretty like at least interesting and not just like, hey, how's Corona? And so then I just responded.
Then I saw, I don't know, I was scrolling and I saw like Danielle's profile and I thought, honestly, I was like, oh, this girl looks pretty cool. Like she looks chill. And it said that she packs kosher delicacies. I don't know what it was, some kosher delicacies.
He says, I'm ready to meet this belly laugh inducing Google fact finding adventure from CoronaCrush. And here's my post on the group because who wants to speak to a complete stranger? I actually thought that line was like, who wants to speak to a complete stranger is really good. And the one other guy I messaged from CoronaCrush, I used that line.
Well, come on, you messaged another guy?
I wasn't sure. Like it was like the first. I had to keep my.
Let's see the other guy. I'm just kidding.
We just started like Facebook messaging. Yeah. And then he was like, I was working. It was like one night, like maybe like a few days later. And it was like, I was working. It was like 11 p.m. I still had like work to do. And then he's like, all right, what are you doing? And he's like, let's Zoom soon. And I was like, okay, like it was a Monday. I was like, all right, like Thursday. Like that's in the normal dating world that like makes sense. It's like, hey, like it's Monday, Thursday. But on Zoom, you can't really get away with that because it's like, what else are you doing?
Was it love at first sight?
No. We were like, oh, like we have like some good chat. Like we had a good chat. It ended up being like, it was like, he's like, give me 10 minutes. It ended up being like 45 minutes.
Even after we were speaking for a month, when I decided to fly to Knoxville to meet her and her parents all at the same time, like even after a month, it was like nervous, like, okay, yeah, we like have these awesome conversations. We're talking for hours a night, but like, what if I get there and like, she like isn't into me?
Pick him up at the airport. He has like a black mask on, headphones on, his hoodie, and like you can't even see anything, and like glasses to just like make sure he was like COVID proof. And I was like, oh Lord, like I really just hope he's attractive. Like I don't even know what he looks like. And there's just this masked man that I'm picking up at the airport, and like we're just like on our drive home, and I was like, didn't know how to speak to him in real life anymore. And then I like brought him home. My mom's there, like, hey, like nice to meet you. And like next morning, my mom was like, all right, you guys, if you're gonna be in my house, you need to get COVID tested. So that was like, our first date was going to go get COVID tested. Having dated just speaking over Zoom, it was actually allowed us to like, you don't get distracted with like, sometimes there are really fun people. They're like, you do really cool things together. And I think you can mistake that for like, you know, enjoying what you're doing for enjoying the person. And, you know, like it was literally like, if we didn't entertain ourselves on Zoom, then like, we wouldn't have talked. Like, you're not gonna have a 3-hour conversation if you're bored, you know, like, and so, whereas I think like when you're doing an activity, it's like really easy to hang out for 3 hours, even if you're not necessarily like really stoked about the person. And like, I think that there's sometimes something to that I don't think I really realized until Zoom dated. Yeah, I do think like, I never thought like you could create chemistry over Zoom, but I think you can.
We just got to a point where it was like, we get along well, we have the same values, it was just working. And I think at one point I asked her, I was like, is this it? And it wasn't a crazy big dramatic thing, it was just this sort of recognition of like, I think we've made it. Like I think we did it. Like I think we found the right person. And then I think at that point, for me, it was like locked in. It's one of those things where like there's just too much that it just is. It just works. It just is. Like I can't describe it other than just like it is. Like I called my mom and told her I want to then she proposed to Danielle, like in the future, nearer future than farther future. And she's like, wasn't it a little fast? And I was like, you know, it is fast, but we did spend a lot of time together because of Corona, a lot of condensed time. And you just, I just know it. And my mom was like, that's how I felt about your dad. You know, when you know, you know.